Okay, action. Alright, I'm here for another review. I am reviewing I Love You Man. Yeah, this is starring Paul Rudd, Jason Segel, Rashada Jones, Jamie Presley, Andy Samberg, J.K. Simmons, and Jane Curtin. Okay, obviously you can tell from my enthusiasm, I'm not thrilled to do this review. Um, I'm used to comedies like The Blues Brothers, Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, all those great ones. Is this movie close to them? Not even close. So, this is directed by the very talentless and should not be directing anymore, John Hamburg. This guy he actually stole the idea from, I think a guy named, his last name was Levine or Levin. He had the idea, he took the idea and ran with it in a totally different way. He pretty much took a dookie on it. So Paul Rudd his name is actually Peter, and his fiance is Zoe Rashada Jones, and they announce that they're going to get married. And that's all good and everything, and the one day Peter is coming home from work. He's actually a real estate agent. He is trying to sell Lou Ferrigno's house, and Peter being and anyways, Peter comes home and he makes root beer floats for his wife and her friends, and he eavesdrops when one of her friends says that she's concerned because he doesn't have any friends. And he gets an earshot of this, and then he starts thinking about it, and that's when his fiance notices that he's in the house, and she calls him in, and he's got the root beer floats, and he's got the smile going on, and he's all happy, and he gives them he gives them the root beer floats, they congratulate him, blah, 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 and then he actually goes to his brother to get help, to help him find a friend. Again, this idea is not bad, it's just the constant. There is a lot. I mean, I can't show clips because there's just too much. There's too much disgusting nonsense going on, and this is a kid-friendly review show. I want everybody to watch it, so I'm watching my language as much as the clips I have to show. I am not able to show clips from this because there's too much, and they come up too fast. You don't really expect them. So. Anyways, one of Zoe's friends actually invites Peter to a poker game. Not Peter's cup of tea. He is a socially awkward character when it comes to guys. When talking to girls, he's okay. So he's at this poker game and he wins this beer contest, and he rose up on his wife's friend's husband Barry, and he does not really take that too kindly. He pretty much yells at him and kicks him out of the house. I mean, Barry is not a friendly character to begin with. So it just wasn't going to end well. So anyways, his brother hooks him up with a couple people. The one person is a high-pitched, squeaky-voiced soccer fan that takes him to a Galaxy game, and he pretty much cracks Peter's eardrum with his screaming nonsense. So that one didn't work out. The second one, the guy takes his friend date for a dinner. He takes it as a actual date. So he gets a nice kiss at the end of the evening from a guy that smokes a lot of cigarettes. Yes, I was eating breakfast when I watched this. I almost threw up myself. I did not like that at all. So, anyways, so okay, so then those two didn't work out. So then Peter actually does what. This is actually sort of the correct way to do it. He's getting Lou Ferrigno's house set up. He's dusting off the picture frame. Now, this part was done well. It shows him getting the pool table ready. It shows him cleaning the house, putting on the fireplace, putting out the food. This actually, I have to give. I hate giving John Hamburg credit, but I have to give him credit here because these are details that I actually look for, and he actually did a good job at showing what somebody does in an open house. And then it shows Sidney Fife in the background, and Sidney Fife is there for the free food, and he's looking to pick up a recently divorced woman. So him and Peter, they have a conversation, they hit it off, and they slowly do become friends in a natural way, which is actually the correct way to do it. So anyways, him and Sidney Fife end up becoming friends. He sees Sidney's house, and some of the stuff that Sidney has in his house is a little weird. He has a station where he actually plays with himself. And this is the John Hamburg middle school humor that he likes to put into things. Because, a guy's getting ready to get married and he's finding all of this stuff funny, and it's actually not. It's middle school nonsense. So all this is things that I just do not like. It's just constant F words throughout the movie, which is fine but then he just throws it in there to try to make it cool, and it's not. It's actually very obnoxious. It's very immature too. It's just not how people talk all the time. So, with all that being said, they end up going to a Rush concert, and they invite his fiancée Zoe to join them, and it's a good time at first. And then Sidney and Peter are becoming a little bit strangely close, and this is where it becomes I hate to use the trendy word bromance, but this is the movie where that came from. So that got a little strange. Sidney actually picks Peter up on his shoulders, and Peter puts his shirt over his head, and his fiancée Zoe is really creeped out by it. And now their relationship is a little bit strained, and he did loan Sidney money for something, he doesn't know what, and he's driving to work, and he's actually plastered on these billboards, and Peter is not liking it anymore, so he kind of breaks things off with Sidney. He thought he was trying to destroy him. And it turns out that Sidney is actually an investor. So he made an investment in Peter and tried to pump up his real estate business, and he actually did it. The problem is he already told Sidney they didn't want to be friends anymore. So, anyways, Zoe ends up going to a friend's house. They have a fight. Goes to her friend where Barry is, the guy that doesn't like him. So he ends up apologizing. They get back together. They get married. His groomsman is that weird squeaky guy, Lou Ferrigno, his brother, his dad, and some old guy that he was also trying to be friends with. So all those are his groomsmen. And as this is going on, Zoe sees Peter do a air guitar to some Rush song, and she realizes that he misses Sidney. So Zoe actually ends up calling him back. He's on his Vespa already going to the wedding, which is, I guess, I kind of predicted that anyways. Things were very predictable in this movie. And he's on his way there. She pretty much, whatever. He answers the phone, he gets there, and he actually calls his brother to be his best man, replacing Sidney before he showed up. So he's got his brothers there. His dad finally says, "You two are my two best friends." Something else good about this movie was his dad, his brother, and his mom. The problem is, John Hamburg pushes everything good aside and brings all the junk in. So I don't know why he didn't do more with his family. That's what he should have done from the start. I may have enjoyed this more, but instead he gave us a lot of nonsense and a lot of middle school junk. So Sidney shows up. He's the best man again. They end up getting married, and that wedding set also was awful. It was unrealistic. She had two of her bridesmaids pretty much run her down the aisle. They didn't even walk. They pretty much picked her up in a parachute and flew her down the aisle, which was yellow. Who has yellow running, whatever it's called, the runway, going down the aisle there?
Bridesmaids.
Whatever it's called. So they end up getting married, and they say I do. I take it they live happily ever after, and then they show the reception, and the best part is when the credits rolled. So, anyways, there is my review. This movie is pretty much it's pretty much a toilet. If I had to grade it, I would definitely give it an F. And I even saw John Hamburg today on a radio show, and the dude is just awful. I mean, he is happy making mediocre movies. He pretty much admitted it. That he just liked his simple-minded fans liking his stuff, and he doesn't really care about awards. I'd give him an award, but it would be a paper toilet on a little piece of paper. I mean, this guy just flat out sucks. He should not be directing movies. He should be doing something else. I think working at the McDonald's would be right for him, although he might get fired. So I'm going to leave it there. You guys can make the judge. Was I too hard on this movie? I think I was too easy on it. And I think I was way too easy on the horrible directing by John Hamburg in this case. Okay, you guys have a nice night. Hopefully I will see you again.